Okay, back with Avi from the Rosewood Estate Winery in the Niagara Peninsula. Show them your nails really quick.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I asked her. I said, "Are you a winemaker?" And she said, "No, I'm a what?"
I'm a farmer. I'm a student viticulturalist, which is a fancy way of saying that I'm a farmer.
That's awesome, because most of the people that you talk to at these events generally are in the winemaking branch of things. You usually don't see people with the broken nails. Tell us a little bit about the whole student viticulturalist. How do you get into that? Why did you get into that?
So I'm a student at Niagara College. I've just entered my second year, and the first part of that is doing your practicum. So we're responsible for finding our own placements, and we have to get a different allotment of all these different skills that are required to graduate the program. So I'm doing my viticulture term this summer at Rosewood Estates.
Now, if someone like, say, me not long ago didn't know what viticulture was, could you explain that for them?
Yes, absolutely. It's farming grapevines for the production of wine.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
And how much time do you spend, judging from your hands, you spend quite a bit of time in the field, but how much time would you say is spent in the fields per day when you're doing this stuff?
We work between 8 and 10 hours a day, depending on the weather, 5 days a week.
Wow. Okay. And you love it?
I do, absolutely. It's tough work. It's the hardest work that I've ever had to do before, but I really enjoy it.
Now, I mean, if I was just looking at some rows of vines, I would think, okay, you have to plant the vines and then they grow and then you have to pick the grapes. There's more to it than that. Maybe just really quickly, maybe the life cycle of a vine over the summer. What are you doing to make sure that they're alive and healthy?
Well, we've had a lot of water this year, a lot of rain, so we're not really concerned about drought at all. We're basically maintaining them. Vines are an incredibly vigorous plant, so they have to be kept in check at lots of different stages during the growing season. So an example is right now we are doing something called leaf thinning because the green leaves are getting quite bushy. So we go in and we sort of remove them around the grape clusters to allow some airflow through the canopy and allow the sun to penetrate and hit the grape clusters for ripening purposes.
Now, you're a student viticulturalist,
Yes.
but it's grape growing, so you have to work or at least be a student through the summer. What happened? Like, do you pick the grapes towards September, October, and then you're done for a while, or how does it work?
Well, so in September, I will be starting my cellar term of my practicum. So I'll be doing the harvest, and then from there we move on to the next stage of production and grape making. So I'll be working at wineries until January.
Nice. Now, student viticulturalist or viticulture, what are you aiming towards? Is this aiming towards winemaking, or do you want to stay in that branch of viticulture?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, a lot of people want to do winemaking, and viticulture is a very important part of winemaking. For myself personally, I'm not sure. I'm sort of just taking it all in and getting the experiences and figuring out what I enjoy the most.
Tell me about Rosewood Estate Winery and all this stuff. What do we have here? Passionate,
Yes.
sustainable, award-winning.
Yes.
Talk to me about the winery.
So Rosewood Estate is located in Beamsville. It's part of the Beamsville Bench sub-appellation in the Niagara Peninsula. We are a family-owned winery as well as a fully functioning apiary. So we produce all of our own honeys on site, and then we make our own meads, which is a honey wine.
And is this why I see the I Love Mead sign? Peter, I don't know if you can get that, but I had no idea what was meant by that, but now I do.
Yes.
So you put mead actually into the wine. Now, when would that happen in the process?
So a traditional mead is very simple. We just take honey, we heat it up with a little bit of water to amalgamate the two, and then you just ferment it with yeast in a very similar way as you would wine.
Okay.
So those are a traditional mead. We also make one called Piment, which is we take Pinot Noir and we make sort of a rosé base out of it, and then we add our estate honey to it, and we ferment the two together.
Oh, so I'm like a complete idiot. Basically, the mead one, that's all it is. It's not like you're adding it to wine or anything.
Yeah, no, it's just mead. Yeah, and
Wow.
the Mead Noir is the Piment, so that has some grape wine in it as well.
I suggest we try some because I've never had actual mead. Yeah.
What did you want to go for? The straight mead?
We might as well go for the straight mead. Yeah. I'll go out on a limb here. Have straight mead. I don't think I've ever had mead before.
There you go.
Fantastic. I think Avi's going to have some too. She looks thirsty. It's very hot in here. Okay, Avi, so I guess I kind of sort of know what I'm looking for when I want to smell or taste wine. What am I looking for with mead? Is it any different?
It's absolutely similar. I was just speaking with somebody, and she brought up an interesting point that you kind of of get a more crisp, sort of like a one note from the mead, as opposed to grape wine, because grapes have so many different flavors and intricacies in them.
Okay.
So the honey will give you that as well, but not to the same degree. So for me, I always get a very, you're going to get what the honey tastes like from a mead. So it really depends on what the bees were foraging on. In this case, there's lots of wildflower, lavender. We grow lavender on site, so our bees do pollinate with a lot of lavender.
I don't even really know quite what. To me, it was a lot of grass notes, some lavender, a lot of like floral.
Yes.
It smells delicious. It smells really good. Huh? Let's taste some. That's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be.
This is our driest style of mead.
Yeah.
If you were going to put it on the sugar scale, it would be about a 2. And this is completely unoaked.
Very different, isn't it? I mean, especially in the finish. It's kind of chewy, the mouthfeel, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be described as that. It's so different from grape wine, and I feel like, especially at events like these, people are expecting it to be a wine, so they're going into it with these sort of misconceptions.
That's exactly what I was doing.
And it's very surprising to people.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, thanks, Avi,
You're welcome.
for the tasting and the history.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with the student viticultural. When do you
very
finish your
much.
program?
August of next year.
Okay, so we'll be looking for you out there in Niagara then.
Awesome.
Okay,
Hopefully
thanks,
I'll
Avi.
be there.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.